Hey, hello and welcome to my demonstration today on Beam. Beam is our enterprise asset management system. It is also a web-based system and can be accessed using any web browser after deploying it onto your cloud or on-premise server. It is also a permission-based system, so not everyone has access to everything in the system, and you can access what you're supposed to based upon your position, profession, department, and group. So after logging into the system here, you can also find the dashboard on your home page. And it visualizes the data of the system into the dashboard, and it helps you keep track and monitor the performance and KPIs of your company. And these are interactive widgets, and you can always design them the way that you want, which means you can either add or delete the specific widgets. And these widgets are also interactive. So for example, we have a list of all different companies on the left here. So if I were to choose a different company, as you can see, the data on the other widgets changes according to the company that I choose. And you're also more than welcome to export this to an Excel or a PDF file. And on our top left here is the main menu of Beam. So here we have the four main modules, which include the asset module to handle all of your assets, which include machine or buildings and equipment. And we also have our maintenance module where we can handle our work requests and work orders, as well as our preventive maintenance. And next we have our materials where we can handle everything related with spare parts, for example. And lastly, we have our personnel module where we can handle our resources. So first we can start off with the asset module. So in this module, we have a map. And here you can find the real-time location of your moving asset on this map after integration with the GPS device that is equipped on your asset for maintenance purposes. And for example, you can keep track of your moving assets, for example, trucks, as just one example to give you. And also in this module, we have this graphical asset tree. And here you can upload the blueprint or floor plan of your facility to the system. And in addition, you can pinpoint the location of your fixed asset, and you can have an overview of your asset on this graphical asset tree. So when it is in the green color, it means that it is in good condition and does not require any maintenance. And we're also able to see the asset code as well as a description of the asset. And we can also see the status as well as the group, the asset type, the operation, and the cost center. So once there is any maintenance that is scheduled for the asset, it will automatically turn red. So let's go back to our assets here. So here we have our asset tree. So the asset tree shows the structure of your company in a hierarchy form. And after expanding it, you can find the assets that you have allocated to different locations or departments. And you can also find the asset line in the asset tree. So what does that mean? It means you can combine two assets for performing a task, and any maintenance that you schedule for the parent asset will automatically apply to the dependent asset. And you can also export this to an Excel or PDF file. And now let's go back to our assets. So here is a list of all of our assets, and we're able to see the description, the department, as well as the serial number, and also the asset type. And we're also able to find the last maintenance date, as well as the asset type description. So let's go ahead and view one of our assets. So let's view this one. So here we have the general information about the asset, for example, the asset code, the description, the status, the type, the group that it falls under, the department, the cost center, and operation. And on our left here, we have everything related to the asset, for example, the asset materials right here. So we can see the measurement unit as well as the available amount and when the last use date was for this specific material. And we can also see our maintenance team right here. And we're also able to see legitimate proceedings, which has insurance information as well as periodic vehicle inspection information. And we also have a picture of our asset. And we can also attach any other documents that we need to. For example, since this is a vehicle, we have a driver handbook. And lastly, we also have depreciation. So you can choose the account type that you want. And that is our asset. Also in this module, we have a reporting tool available. So there is a reporting tool available actually for every module in Beam. So for example, let's view our asset status report. And you can run over 10,000 ready-made reports in the system. And before creating the report, you can put the conditions or criteria on it. And instead of generating the report every single time you need it, you can schedule the report to be sent to you automatically by clicking schedule. And you can add another one. So you would need to, this is overall information for the specific report, and you can schedule the prepared time that you want, whether you want it daily, weekly, or monthly. And you will also need to put the recipient email address, and that is how you can schedule the report to be sent to you, depending upon when you want it to be sent to you. So let's get back to our asset status report. So here we would need to choose the asset that we want to view. So for example, let's do this one, and we would do prepare. Okay, so here it is, and we can also see the status of the specific asset along with some other information. And there are also other reports available in this module that are related to our assets. And also in this module, we have a tab for vehicle management where we can handle everything related to vehicles, for example, service forms, fuel purchases, tire measurement, as well as traffic tickets. And moving on to our next module, which is the maintenance module. Here, in case of any unplanned breakdown, the operator of the asset can file a work request. So you can pick the asset from the asset list for the work request or scan the barcode for the filing. And you can also attach the image as a reference that you take as a reference to the maintenance team. So the fastest way to process all work requests is by doing fast request. So here you can put the maintenance priority. So let's say if it's a emergency, you can do emergency. If it's a low priority, you can choose that. Or if it's just normal, then you would just go choose normal. And we can choose the asset code here. So let's choose this one. And we can also choose the work type that our specific asset needs. So let's say if it's a mechanical issue, we can choose that. And we can also choose a maintenance/failure code. So let's say if it's a mechanical failure. And we can also attach some comments that are related to the work request. So let's say that the requires mechanical fix. All right, and once you do that, you can go ahead and save it. And here is our work request. So all the work requests will be pulled to the work order pool automatically. And that is where you can schedule the start and end date for the work, as well as we can manage our materials, the maintenance team, the work step, and costs that are involved. So here is the one that we just created. All right, so here we have some general information about the work request, for example, the work order kind, the asset, as well as the department, maintenance priority, work type, maintenance/failure code, as well as who the requester was. And we can also see the failure occurrence date here, as well as the informed date and the planned start date, as well as the end plan date. And we can also see the definition that we put in here for our work order. And on our left here, we have our used materials, as well as our work steps right here. And we can also attach documents. And lastly, we have our costs. So for example, we have labor costs involved, the material cost, service cost, and lastly, our total cost. So that is our work order. And also in this module, we have our preventive maintenance. So here you can schedule the preventive maintenance for your asset after a certain time frame or at a certain value captured from your IoT devices on your asset. So for example, as you can see here, we have the asset code, the description, the maintenance/failure code, as well as the description and the work type that is required. And we can also see the last maintenance date, as well as when the next maintenance date is going to be. And let's go on to our next module, which is the material module. And also in this maintenance module, we also have different reports available. So let's move on to our materials. So here you can find all of your materials, which include material code, this description, the quantity, as well as the serial number. And if there's a barcode number, we can also see that. So let's go ahead and view one of these materials. So as you can see here, we have the material code, the description, as well as the measurement unit. And on our left here, we have our warehouse parameters. So here we can see the minimum material amount as well as the maximum material amount. And we can also see the safety stock level. And we also have our vendors. Just like always, we can also attach documents. So in this case, we have a handbook. And we're also able to see a picture of our asset, of our material. So moving on, you can record the activity of your spare parts among warehouses, and all the transactions will be recorded with a unique voucher number, a transaction type, as well as the warehouses, the quantity, the price, and so on. And also in this module, we have reports. So for example, let's view our warehouse transactions report. So here, let's choose a different start date and end date, and let's do prepare. So here is our warehouse transaction report. So as you can see, we have two different warehouses, and we're able to see the different transactions that occurred at that specific warehouse. So for example, this one right here, we're able to see the voucher date and voucher number, as well as the material transaction type. So it was a material incoming, and we can also see the type of material that it was. So in this case, it was gears, and we're also able to see the specific warehouse where it occurred at, as well as some other information such as the unit, the quantity, the price, and amount. And you can always export this report to a PDF or any other file format that you want. And now let's go on to our next module, which is the personnel module. And here you can find all the resources. So for example, if you have your employees, we're able to see information for our specific employee, which include the resource code, the description, as well as the position that they have, and the maintenance plan work type. And also in this module, we have a resource occupation calendar. And in here, you can find the schedule of your employees in a calendar view, and you can compare the schedule of different employees on the same page. And it pretty much allows you to avoid the conflicts while you are assigning the task to the maintenance team. So for example, we can choose a start and end date of our specific resource, and we're also able to choose the work type and the resource, as well as the resource count per page that we want to see. And with that, this concludes my demonstration today on Beam on a high level. Thank you for watching.